Yo, 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 yo. It's your boy Larry Bird, 33 Bands, aka JQ, aka Law. And this is another Cummins Talk coming at you live from the truck. And today we are going to talk about, is trucking here to stay? And what was the other subject? Is trucking here to stay? And well, let's just get into is trucking here to stay because I can't even remember the other subject right now. I just had it in my head too, and I can't even think of it right now because I'm driving and blah blah blah. I can't do two things at once. Whatever. Give some people a chance to get in here. Me and TB still cool. About time. About time for what, Father D? Um. Oh, the second subject is what's gonna happen after the microchip crisis ends once they start making microchips once again and everything comes back into play. What's gonna happen? You know. Um. Yeah. So is trucking here to stay? And what's gonna happen after the microchip come back? Because right now everything's super high. Is it Trevor, you stupid? Is it gonna be like terrible with the prices like they are now? Because honestly, you can't buy a damn car or nothing right now without it being sky high. Used cars are through the roof. Everything's dumb high because they can't make any cars. The car manufacturers are not even. Not should I say the car manufacturers. The car dealerships are not even getting in as many cars as they usually would get. It's a fraction of the cars. So whereas they would get like 100 and something cars a month, maybe like 120 or something like that. I think the guy quoted me 120 or 160. They're getting like 30 cars a month. So um, yeah, that's a problem. It's also shooting used cars up through the roof. You know what I mean? Anybody that's got a decent used car, this is the time to sell that joint. Now, I don't know what you're gonna do as far as like your main car. If you got two cars, you can sell your used car for man well over market value because they just selling like that. Because the dealerships don't have anything to sell anybody right now. Really, trucking is trucking is here to stay. Because when the fake driver fall off, somebody gets to deliver this stuff to the local stores. Yeah, I give you that. You know, I think it's here to stay too. So let's get into that, okay? Let's fall off the microchip problem and let's get back into the this trucking here to stay. Now, some would say that the I don't even know how to say this word correctly. Autonomous. I believe I'm saying that right. Autonomous. Um, but for layman's terms, we'll just use the words self-driving trucks are gonna take away the truck driver, and you know we won't have jobs because robots will be doing our jobs. Everybody's skeptical about that. So that's what I mean by it's truck driving here to stay. My thing and the way I feel about it, to tell you the truth, is that they can't fill the trucking position with autonomous trucks for the simple fact that the things that truck drivers do that save loads and the actual interaction with shippers and receivers, you can't do that with an autonomous truck. Now some will say, "Oh, we don't need to do that." Bullshit. What's up, Mbuso? Suicide gang in the house. I see you. Um, Bullshit. We don't need drivers to do like to deal with shippers and receivers. Yeah, it sounds good. But if that's the case, then why the hell the paperwork always messed up? Why the hell appointments always messed up? Why when you late for an appointment due to like an accident or weather phenom, you can't just go in there, they fix it real quick, get you unloaded and get you out of the door real quick. Because it takes human interaction. It takes human interaction to tell one human being to another human being, hey, chances are we're not going to be able to get you in, but if you show up this time tomorrow, blah, 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 I'll be able to get you. Or give me a second, I'm going to do this truck and no problem, I'll get you in, bro. I'm running I'm supposed to, you ever been to a shipper and they hit you with that whole deal like, yo, I was supposed to get off at 4:30 and it's like 5 o'clock, 5:15. So they're looking at you crazy like, man, bro, I'm really not trying to unload you. I'm not trying to do nothing for you. You know what I'm saying? It takes that human interaction to convince that guy like, hey, I need to get this load off my back. I got another load I need to pick up. Or, hey, what you need to do is sometimes, like in some cases, I've slipped guys $20 here, you know what I mean, for getting my load off, you know what I'm saying, on time so I didn't have to wait or I didn't get stuck with not getting a load, getting a back haul. Like I hit the guy with a little bit of cash because if I didn't, I mean I wouldn't get the back haul. And then you know what that means, more money. I mean, no back haul, no money. So you have that situation. What you say, infrastructure will never be in place because they can't get computer chips from China. Well, that's what I'm saying. We'll move past. We're going to get into the microchip problem. But for now, let's say it wasn't a microchip problem. And they was just cranking out autonomous or self-driving trucks left and right. Do you think with self-driving trucks, even if they were able to get this off the ground, which I don't think they got the technology down pack enough to get a self-driving truck to self-drive itself to go get charged because they don't have the battery capacity to get from New York to LA. Or for that case, maybe Chicago to Florida. You know what I mean? You ain't getting like over 1,000 miles probably in no truck. I don't care how many batteries you got in there, I think some of the stuff I've been quoted, and I ain't do no research before I did this podcast. I'm just coming at y'all raw and ranting in my truck, basically, doing a Cummins Talk. And I don't think they could get the truck to go over some 700 miles on one charge. So now you got to have some human interaction. Somebody got to charge the truck up. Now I know in the iRobot times, the truck should be able to pull into a bay and basically charge itself or whatever the case may be, but we're not there, and we don't have self-driving truck charging stations all over the country. So we far from that. And I would say at least a decade before we have enough charging stations just for cars alone. Because if you notice, you can't go anywhere. You can't go just anywhere and find charging stations for Tesla. They ain't just everywhere. They in more, what's the word I'm looking for, like mall type areas. Like if you go to a place that has a nice big mall, usually you can find them there. Or a place that has a bunch of like modern stores, Chipotle's and IKEAs and stuff like that. You might be finding them in those little areas, in those shopping areas. But for the most part, it's hard to even find charging stations for cars, really, to tell you the truth. It's not like on every corner type deal like a gas station would be. Road dog, that wouldn't be a problem with autonomous trucks. There would just be more drop trailers and they unload them when they get to it. Yeah, if that's the case, then they would have got rid of the over the road driver a long time ago. If that was the case with all the drop trailers, but It's a shortage on trailers. It's a trailer shortage now. It's a trailer shortage now right now too. So I get what you're saying. The idea is that makes sense. But then that would make everybody regional. Why would you even need an over-the-road driver if it was a whole bunch of dropping hooks? If you could do a whole bunch of dropping hooks and just drop trailers here and there and move the load here, unload it, reload it, unload it, reload it, or drop the trailer here, have somebody else come pick it up, so on and so forth. If they had the dispatching capacity to do that now, they should be doing that and being more efficient now and paying drivers a whole lot less than they paying drivers a buttload of money to move stuff across the country. It would make sense to pay drivers a lot less regional and let them go home to their wife and kids every night and do a bunch of dropping hooks. And so even if some changing stations only got 2 or 3 charges. What you mean? Even some charging stations, right? They only got 2 or 3 charges, right? Correct. And you know how that's gonna go. And then how long is it gonna take to charge a semi truck? And how many semi trucks are we going? Because in the real world, in the regular world, how many trucks go in and out of truck stops? And how long are you at the fuel island? Like 15 minutes? And it's still a problem with getting in and out of the fuel island in some areas. They double, triple stacked in each lane. And we talking about a good 10 lanes per your average truck stop. Good 10, 15, up to about 15 lanes. So how many charging stations could you really have? You feel me? For trucks. Now, like I said, I ain't saying where there's a will, there's a way. I ain't saying that Americans or scientists or whoever can't do it. It's very possible. We have autonomous vehicles already, so I'm sure it's possible, but I think it's just way off. And last time I checked, with inflation and giving out these checks, people still spending at an all-time high. So when people still spending at an all-time high, that means there's more of a need for semi-trucks because there's more of a need to get products on the shelf. There's more of a need to get items back and forth. There's more of a need to get steel and other equipment back and forth to make these products to then ship them off to be sold. So, so that's where I'm at with it. Like the whole autonomous thing and it's, trucking they're going to cut trucking out. Bro, I think we're so far away from that I don't think our kids, and I do mean like my kids, being that I'm 41 and my oldest is 15, I don't think he's going to have to worry about that anytime in his lifetime. Let's see what we got here. Know the ledge. Law, you slacking on the podcast grind. Podcast, or start trying to seem like, yeah, bro, I'll be busy, man. That's why you should respect some of the guys that do these podcasts and actually drive a truck still. It ain't easy. I got a regular job just like you. And that's why I'm doing the Cummins Talk just so I could bring y'all. That's why I started the Cummins Talk, so I could bring y'all content. I'm not even prepared. I don't have any notes. I didn't bring up any screens or anything. I don't have any capabilities to share the screen. You're absolutely right. It's hard to do content. I got a lot going on as far as work. But I'm going to try to stay on top of it. You're absolutely right. I agree with you. It has been a podcast to stop trying. Not as much as it was in May. At the end of May, beginning of June, I went on vacation and did some other stuff. And I really just didn't feel like bringing all my equipment to Vegas. Plus, I had planned on trying to hook up with Trucker Brown, but things didn't work out. So that kind of stopped the stuff that I was going to do in Vegas. But yeah, I've been doing all right, man. I mean, the last podcast I did, I want to say it's been less than a week. So I've been at least giving y'all a video every week consistently. You know what I mean? Some people only giving y'all like maybe 1 or 2 videos a week. So, I'm going to try to be more consistent like 2 or 3 times a week. But it also becomes a problem where you run out of stuff to talk about, too, that's interesting. Now, don't get me wrong. I have plenty of stuff to rant about, especially when I'm out on the road, like dealing with traffic at I-80 right now. like coming between Illinois and Indiana, the border right there between exit 1 and Indiana and whatever the exit is coming into Illinois. I can't think of what it is on I-80, but by Torrance Avenue and Calumet Avenue in Indiana, it's been a pain in the ass, bro. Like, traffic is crazy. Like, matter of fact, let me turn this camera around real quick so y'all can see. This is what we dealing with every day. So I definitely got plenty of crap to rant about. You feel me? Like, look at this shit. This is terrible, dog. And this is, we like 20, let me look at the mile marker, 16 miles out from where the construction really, started. So that's just, like I said, I got plenty of stuff to rant about, but truth be told, it's kind of hard to stay current with the podcast while you're working at the same time. So, and I do like to do it behind the desk most of the time. What you saying? Let's see what Mbuso. I still want to cop a Tesla truck, or at some point, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, facts. Me too. A Tesla truck, or even a Tesla vehicle for that matter. I wish they had dropped the prices on the Model X, because I'm only really interested in the truck for the room, because I like my room. Once you go a big truck, you never go back. So, yeah, I'm only interested in getting like a Model X Tesla, or if they drop the actual Tesla pickup truck that looks crazy and look like some shit off Total Recall. Yeah, I'm interested in that. But anything else, I'm not really focused on. I don't really want a Tesla car. Like, if I could get my hands on a Tesla S Plaid Edition, which is basically an electric supercar, then yeah, I'd be totally interested. That was an accident. Sorry. I still want a couple Tesla truck. Not sure how to undo that. How to do what? What was the accident? Does Tesla comment? Anyway, moving right along. As far as trucking being here to stay, yeah, I don't think it's going nowhere. My oldest is 15, my youngest is 12. I think if they want to come into this business and be successful at it and have a career and retire off trucking, I think they will be able to. I think they will be able to run their own trucking businesses, in the future. I think we far off autonomous trucks. And then, like I said, it's a lot of bullshit that happens with these trucks that, a computer can't really do. You know what I mean? A computer can't really coordinate the way that human beings can coordinate in, like, save situations like fires on like break fires, or weather conditions, being able to see weather conditions with the human eye. Yeah, can a computer detect certain things? Yeah, but to tell you the truth, if the computers were so good, then why do we still have cars driving in tornadoes and stuff like that? Why do we have cars that still driving through blizzards? I mean, trucks still driving through blizzards. What you were saying, Lisa, I think it will fix itself in 300 seconds. No heat. Pause. No ledge. Pause. What the hell? I don't know what y'all talking about in the comments. Maybe I catch up. I don't know. My company just dropped $100 million on new piece this June. Exactly. I've done it too, so I don't know what y'all talking about, but if you know it, Mbuso is talking about Queen Lisa, I appreciate this. Exactly. Your company just dropped $100 million. Although they just dropped $100 million, that $100 million probably only gonna last with those big companies like 3 years. So, and they like to move right along with their trucks, those big companies. But like I said, with that being said though, like, there's so many situations. I mean, time after time, bro, that if there was no human being, these loads wouldn't get done. These loads wouldn't get done. Because, let's just tell the truth. I would say if I had to put a percentage on that, 50 to 60% of these shippers and receivers, They got people in there driving forklifts that really don't want to fucking be there, bro. They don't care about unloading your truck. They really don't. They don't give a damn about loading or unloading your truck, bro. They would sit on that fucking forklift and do absolutely nothing for $13 to $16 or $18 an hour if they could. Why the fuck would they care if you get unloaded or not loaded when that's what they do all day? You know, at some point, people all turn into fast food workers. They really just don't have any pride to give a fuck about their job because they don't own the company. So, without that human interaction, sometimes it takes a driver to be like, hey, man, what's going on with this load? Like, y'all not unloading me. I've been here 45 minutes or an hour. How many times you been sitting in the door? You've been there 45 minutes, an hour, and they say they finna get right on you. You've been in there like 45 minutes, an hour. You got to go back in there like, hey, what's going on? Y'all finna unload me? And the dude look at you and be like, oh, yeah, we get into it. And you know they forgot about you, your ass, bro. They just straight up forgot about you. So, is a computer going to be able to do that? Please. If a computer could do that now, they be doing it. They be doing it so that these companies can move more loads efficiently. They be doing it. Now, don't get me wrong. There's some shippers and receivers that move way more efficient because of the supervisor structure that they have. So they don't really slack. They closing times as they closing times. They opening times as they opening times. You know, they get you in, they get you out. They say they're gonna unload you, they unload you. They say they're gonna load you, they're gonna load you. Period. You know what I'm saying? But then you also got to deal with the fucking Walmarts, bro. Walmart had you in there for 6 and 7 hours and shit sometimes, you know? They don't care about paying you per diem and all that shit. They had you there over damn night, you know, doing a whole rest break while you sitting there waiting to get the damn trailer unloaded. But you know, it's other ones too, and I ain't gonna go down the line and name them. But you get what I'm saying. Without that human interaction, somebody that like, hey man, I've been here 6 hours. What's the deal? Checking on that trailer. Man, no computer can do that shit. Could look a person in the eye and with that concern, like, hey man, I'm trying to get up out of here. Like, bro, I'm not trying to sit in buttfuck Ohio for fucking 17 hours. You know, I got a family to get home to, or this, that, and the third. If it's just a computer doing everything, man, that shit just gonna sit there. And yeah, they have to deal with higher ups and stuff like that, as far as like how efficient they're working and this, that, and the third. But they got to do that anyway. They got to do that anyway. So, you know, it is what it is. They gonna be backed up into the street with trucks waiting. Exactly. And like I said, with the autonomous vehicles, for it to move as efficiently as it needs to, we're gonna have to have charging stations all over the damn country, everywhere, in mass. There's so many trucks out here moving. There's no way they could replace all these damn trucks in a matter of 10 years, 20 years, which in my case, I'll be long done with trucking in 10, 20 years. I'm pretty sure. I guarantee it. I'm 41 years old. I think by 51, I don't think I'm going to be driving a truck. Will I be doing something in some capacity with the trucking business? Probably. I probably will be doing something. I don't know. But I won't be driving a truck, and I won't be worried about trucking that, like, overall, you know what I mean, where it's going or whatever the case may be. As far as, like, drivers, I'll definitely not be a driver anymore. But for that case may be, I think it's going to take well over 40 years to get the logistics right on something like that, man. That many trucks? I mean, you just got to, I mean, can you imagine how many trucks is on the road? How many charging stations we need set up to charge all these trucks and keep them running? We're talking about a 15-minute turnaround at a fuel station that you got to do with that you are forced to try to replicate with an autonomous truck and charging batteries. They don't charge that fast, and the bigger the vehicles and the more stuff you pull in and the more power you using, the more batteries, the more you're gonna have to charge, so on and so forth. You know what I mean? But the computer doesn't need to get home either. Yeah, that's fact. And the computer won't forget about the other computer either. Yeah, but at the end of the day, Lisa, they do. You know what I mean? Like, if they had a computer system that say, hey, this load is here, which they do, they get on the computer and they check you in. You know, they do whatever they got to do. It's still a human being typing in the loads and watching everything. So let's say you took away the truck driver, but everything else you didn't take away. It's still somebody that processing the paperwork, processing the bills, managing the appointments. They still forget you. They still forget you. So if the truck pulled in by itself and they forgot you for 6 hours, that's money that the company is missing, that their human interaction is not saying, hey, what is going on? What are you going to do? Make a phone call? They're not going to answer that damn phone. Us as truck drivers already know what phone calls get you. Usually that shit takes hours and hours on time. It's usually hours and hours of waste of time dealing with phone situation, especially if you're calling for like the status of a load. Man, them people be on some I get to you when I get to you. And if they forgot about you because they forgot about you, most likely it's because they busy. You know what I mean? And if they busy, they not answering the damn phone. They're driving the forklift. Or they unorganized, or they don't have the manpower. It's just so much that go into it with these shippers and receivers that if you don't have a human being driving the truck and focused on getting the load down time and strapping the load down, like you can't get a computer really to strap the load down. And yeah, they could pay people to strap the load down, but what happens if the autonomous truck gets down the road? Is it going to sense that something's wrong with the straps? Can you make a computer for that? Yeah, you probably can. I doubt it's not here yet. Because if it was, they'd already have it. They'd already have it. If they had computers to tell you when you off, like far as sliding the tandems, they'd already be sending this shit to the driver saying, hey, you off on your weight in this state. You know what I'm saying? You need to slide your tandem. Why wouldn't they tell the driver that now? If they could tell a damn autonomous truck to slide its tandems, why wouldn't they tell the human driver? They just not. It's not there yet. We got to still go to weigh stations and weigh up and make sure the steers, the axles, and the trailer tandems is per the weight requirement. So, you know, it's far off. I just think that people get a little ahead of themselves. They hear autonomous trucks and self-driving trucks. I think they will be using them for certain little things here and there, but they far off. They way far off from replacing truck drivers. All the shit that we do, it ain't just grabbing a steering wheel and driving down the fucking road. Now, they put one of them damn little running robots that I saw doing parkour in the driver's seat. Now we got a different story. Because them little motherfuckers are starting to move. Now we talking, that Tesla robot thing, that shit's starting to get freaky. What you say, Lisa? Maybe they will have a person still in the truck, because right now you have to be blah, 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 and they still got to do most stuff, but just them like minimum wage. Yeah, it ain't going to be no minimum wage situation. Not when you got me managing millions and millions and millions of dollars worth of product. Ain't no way in hell you going to pay anybody, or anybody's even going to go for managing millions of dollars worth of equipment and product and get paid minimum wage for that. Nobody gets paid minimum wage for managing and seeing to the safety and safekeeping of that much worth of equipment. This ain't a small quarter pounder and fry operation. You know what I mean? You could let a kid do that. You can't let a kid manage millions of dollars worth of product plus a couple $100,000 in equipment with the truck, the trailer, and all of that. You know what I mean? So, nah, I don't think that that's the case, Lee. Ain't gonna be no minimum wage. I don't give a fuck if the truck drives itself. You ain't paying no truck driver. I don't care. He still gotta watch and make sure everything's straight and protect that. I predict it will be here 15, 20 years. I don't think so, Road Dog. I don't think so because we already having a microchip shortage. And let's get into that. And hold on, let me read Father D's joint. Line of sight XM don't work in tunnels and canyons. That's true. That's true, but Father D, they use a different system with the with the uh, with the self-driving trucks. So, and then they could route around that shit too. They could route around those tunnels and all of that. In certain situations, they probably would just put a local drive on it just to drive through a whatchamacallit. But moving right along, let's get to the microchip. Why I don't think it's gonna be 10 and 20 years is because we don't really have a substitution to get out these microchips fast enough. Everything's moving on microchips because everybody wants a laptop, computer, smartphone, tablet. Every car comes with all these different smart technologies, so they're running out of microchips. Now, the amount of microchips that they're gonna need to get some of these other computer systems in these autonomous trucks, I would assume would be a lot more, plus the microchips that they need to get the charging stations up and running. You know, everything needs microchips. And right now we have a microchip shortage. I don't know when we're going to come out of that. Nobody is saying nothing. All the research I see, nobody is saying nothing. If anything, they're talking about microchip substitute and trying to figure out a way to get around it, you know, get around the tungsten or whatever that's needed, the product that's needed to build these microchips. But we're not hearing nothing about a clear. I haven't heard anything about a clear fix to the situation on these microchips, bro. Nobody has said nothing good. Most of these countries are still dealing with the pandemic and shit, and I think maybe it'll come around once they loosen up. Because from what I understand, from what I've read in the past, I believe Singapore is one of the main places that produces most of the microchips around the world. And due to their COVID restrictions and shit, that's why they're not able to crank out as much product to, you know, get a lot of these vehicles and a lot of these products, computers, laptops, hard drive, graphic cards, all type of shit. Like, there's nothing, you can't really get products that require CPUs because of these fucking microchips. So I don't know. We don't know. I have no clue. Like, I'm not hearing anything. And I'm gonna do more research today when I get to the house, or tomorrow when I get to the house. But I'm not hearing nothing. Not on the 70, Glenwood Canyon, etc. Road out. Yeah. I have never used Sirius in the tunnels, in the truck, you know, in a situation lately, like recently, but back when I was driving my regular car, yeah, Sirius didn't work at all. But it's been so long, I don't know if they updated that technology. But I do know that the autonomous truck is a different system than just regular satellite GPS. You know what I mean? They have like Google points or something like that. It's like I can't think of the name of it. It's like waypoints. You know what I mean? It's like almost like what the aircraft use in the air, because they basically have invisible points in the air and expressways in the air for airplanes. And I think that the autonomous trucks, they use stuff like that. So even if you lose signal, the computer is already programmed to know that in 1.3 miles to start veering left and veering right and knowing the curve of the thing. But that doesn't protect you from construction changes. And I don't know if autonomous trucks are even ready to deal with certain autonomous changes. Like, we've all been on the expressway, major expressways, like the I-70, going, leaving Indiana, going into Ohio, where the whole eastbound lane cones up and shifts over into the oncoming traffic lane, going westbound. So I don't know if autonomous trucks are even prepared to even deal with that. I don't think they can even deal with that. But I don't know, because I've never driven an autonomous truck. So I don't see how they act, and I'm gonna do more research on it because this is a big deal. This is, whether you should buy a truck right now, whether you should uh, lease a truck right now. All this shit is pivoting on the idea of this microchip concept and the autonomous truck concept because we're seeing a lot of shit move. The pendulum is definitely swinging its ass off in both directions. Not just one. It's not swinging in one direction. It's swinging in both directions. And I think this is a great subject for trucking. And I'm going to keep bringing it up here and there, you know what I'm saying, when I feel like ranting about it. But to be honest, I don't think in my lifetime I'm going to have a problem like far as like being replaced by a robot or some shit. It's not coming. It's not coming. Now, people in trucking, they think that it's coming sooner than it is because they just don't understand the logistics of driving a fucking truck. They think it's just holding the steering wheel and getting down the road and being able to get point A to point B. They don't know trucking is submitting paperwork, keeping track of fuel mileage, paying attention as far as safety, missing traffic, parking, which computer could do the parking, so I ain't gonna even deal with that. Human relations, as far as dealing with human beings as shippers and receivers and dispatchers, and being able to see weather phenomena with your eyes that the computer can't pick up, that the computer can't see. Being able to see traffic that sometimes these Teslas and shit, they can't see. We've had incidents where autonomous trucks have definitely gotten to accidents. So the shit ain't perfect, and you can't risk it not being perfect with a semi truck. With cars, you really can't risk it there neither. But it's a little wiggle room with cars. But with 80,000 pounds on your back, especially hazmat, flammable fucking material, you can't waste it not being pretty much 99.9% on point. It's got to be perfect and working to a T. So, and the day that you just got a autonomous driving truck, you ain't doing nothing. In which you got to still have a truck driver, you ain't doing nothing but making a truck driver's job easy. And don't get me wrong, I don't even know if I want that because I think sometimes computers are stupid. They stop when they ain't even supposed to be stopping, like the spacing system that they put on these trucks to tell you you're getting too close to a truck. Sometimes them shits break because they see imaginary shit. How many times you been in a brand new spanking truck at a big company and that bitch just slam on the brakes for nothing? There ain't even nothing in front of you. That shit used to happen to me all the time in my Freightliner when I drove for Prime. So, Road Dog, good point, and Boo. So I was on there last week, and some jackass was going 20, 25, fluctuating speed, even though the speed limit was 50. Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes you need a human being to switch lanes because the computer or self-driving truck is probably just gonna go. It's just gonna go with the flow. You know what I'm saying? The traffic. So you never know. If the computer's gonna be able to switch lanes and be able to, correct that fast. The cars need to. I'm trying to concentrate on the road. The cars need to back that way before the trucks. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Autonomous trucks can't get. I need an autonomous truck right now trying to read these fucking messages. Autonomous trucks can't get a hazmat endorsement. Facts. That's what I'm saying. Like, this shit ain't perfect. It's still self-driving trucks crashing and doing bullshit. Y'all think that we finna put 80,000 pounds worth of fucking high octane fuel on a truck that's not 100% guaranteed to, not self-drive itself into a wall? Man, please. Ain't no way. There's no way, bro. Why is this state trooper parked like this? I ain't never seen a state trooper over here parked right here. Maybe he watching this dude do this bullshit right here. I don't know. Anyway, that's kind of weird. You gotta watch Illinois, man. They like to pull motherfuckers over, man. Illinois be on bullshit sometimes. But anyway, yeah. So that's my thing with like the microchip crisis. That's one thing why trucking is trucking is gonna be here for a while, bro. Trucking gonna be like truck drivers are gonna be here for a while. And also we like I said, we don't really have anything to like replace this problem or fix this problem. And like I say, I'm gonna try to stay on top of it as much as possible. And I've been talking about this for a long time. I also been trying to convince y'all about stocking Neo, which is another company that produces self-driving cars. And it's been going up and down. And once it's under 40, I think it's a good price to buy at because the price point they projecting is somewhere around like 100, I believe. And Queen Lisa could correct me if I'm wrong. You know what I mean? Because she talks to people a lot about. She talks to somebody about stocks a lot, and that's his price point that he said on Neil that he think is gonna hit. Yeah, this shit can be annoying for real. Slamming the brakes, making the collision warning. Exactly, that collision warning shit is horrible. On 80, they were there earlier too. Really, but on 80, by like the you was coming you was going eastbound though, Lisa. I'm going westbound, going towards the house. Trying to get on 57. So I don't know. They, I ain't never seen them there, and they was parked over there by where the old toll booths used to be, which is another thing that computers took away is toll drivers. I mean toll booth workers. We don't really need that shit no more because we don't really need that no more because we got the iPass signal getting picked up by the iPass little transponder. So they got rid of what is that, like 4 or 5 lanes right down 80 when you getting off of the 94, where the 80 94 kind of combined coming into Illinois going towards Iowa. That's like 6 workers they got rid of probably. You know what I'm saying? Per shift. Who knows how many shifts they did? I would guess those workers did probably somewhere upwards of 8 to 12-hour shifts. So at least 2 shifts. You know what I mean? At the least 3 shifts in a 24-hour period, and they don't have jobs anymore because of the computers. But it is what it is. Like I say, people are talking like they kind of scared that the trucking industry is headed the same way, but I mean, we just do too much, man. And if I thought long enough about everything that we do that a computer can't do, it's just like it's endless, bro. It's so much shit. It's so much shit. And then you're gonna pay all this money for a self-driving truck, which okay, maybe it will pay you back. But the equipment and the amount of shit that you got to pay for and how expensive it is versus paying the driver that money, and you get more efficiency and a smarter and more reactive brain, an on the point reactive brain out of it. Because I'm gonna be honest, okay? Our brains can't compare to a computer. That's a fact. As far as like computing shit and calculating shit. But when it comes to like noticing shit like something burning or seeing a fire and being able to make decisions quickly, sometimes the computers are not, like safety wise, they're not ready for that. They'll let some shit bang until it break or, then they kill somebody. Whereas a human, if we see it, could hit the stop button and fix it or go get a fire extinguisher, so on and so forth. And there's a lot of situations like that in trucking. As far as seeing black ice, seeing snow, seeing regular ice, seeing a tornado cloud forming, feeling the hail coming, seeing that greenish tint on the sky and knowing to park the fucking truck. Are we going to have trucks that's going to be equipped like that, just like that? That's going to be able to tell how hard the rain is pouring, how quick, during fog, seeing somebody slow down and stop? Are they going to be able to pick that up? It's a lot of ifs. Ain't nobody's finna take that chance But 80,000 pounds of hazmat, it ain't happening. You coming down the road, 80,000 pounds of pure petroleum? Shit. Pretty please. I wish they would. And that shit ain't on point like us. No way, bro. No way. We ain't at the iRobot shit yet, man. We get that though. We working towards it. Like when I was a kid watching Total Recall, and I watched Running Man the other day, and some of the shit that they had on there that they was trying to make look high tech, that shit looks so corny now. Like we have surpassed way that future shit. A lot of the future shit that we saw on those Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. You know what I'm saying? Which I gotta give Arnold Schwarzenegger his props. He definitely was like at the forefront and making movies that was keen on technology. Terminator, you know, all these futuristic movies, you know what I'm saying, that was based on self-driving cars and shit like that. Sylvester Stallone is another one. And you go back and you watch these movies and you like, damn, we about that. And those were movies when I was a kid. And some of them are, like I said, like I was watching The Running Man, and back in the day, that shit was futuristic. The dude shooting the lightning and shit out of his arms, and the way the screens were set, like you could watch a screen on a billboard, and you know people were outside watching TV and shit. Like that shit ain't far fetched no more. Like that's simple to put a TV on a billboard. Like we there now, so it's like, you know, it's awesome seeing that type of shit. But you know, the iRobot shit, like driving 80,000 pounds of hazmat, like down the nah. And how many times did the GPS fucked up and didn't know that a bridge or a certain width requirement was off, and you drove down the wrong street, and now you got to back up or do some other bullshit because the truck GPS didn't pick it up. We not there yet. We just not there yet, people. We gonna need truck drivers for a minute. We're not there yet. It's gonna take a lot of man hours. And when they start figuring that out and getting closer to it, then yeah, I'm gonna start advising people like, hey, you might want to get on that team with Google or Amazon or whoever that's putting up these waypoints for all this self-driving transportation, because that's the future. Working on, you know, this computer or that computer, and knowing when it's out, that's controlling and sending the signal to all these self-driving vehicles. Because we on our way there, bro. We definitely on our way there. I just don't think that we there. You know what I'm saying? Like we close to like the iRobot shit. I don't think it's close. And it's got to be iRobot precision for certain loads. You know what I'm saying? Certain loads you're gonna need iRobot precision. And like I said, could they cut shit down and scale shit down and put it on smaller box trucks and move out more vehicles? But then, yeah, probably. But then that's gonna create a higher demand for microchips. And they already having a fucking problem with microchips. So it's like, I don't know. But yeah, I just want to come on here and rant about that and kind of make you truck drivers feel a lot more safe. You know, you guys that's 20 years old and just not getting in the trucking or whatever, y'all in y'all mid-20s, man, I think y'all good, bro. I don't think it's going to be 10 and 20 years, road dog, because I think they far off of like shit that needs to be picture perfect. Like when it comes to certain things in trucking, you can't have, it ain't no room for mistakes, man. You kill a lot of people. You know what I'm saying? It's the same thing with airplanes. Airplanes have less obstruction and shit to worry about than damn trucks most of the time. Yes, it's a tougher thing to deal with because they so high in the air, so, you know. But if they could, they get rid of the fucking pilot in a heartbeat. Them niggas make great money for years. If they could get rid of that, please, they would. And the pilot used so many tools, like the shit that they use to lock into these nav aids, to lock into a ILS approach, to lock into, like when the weather's bad and they can't even see the runway, they got computers telling them where everything is. But they still need to be in the cockpit to fucking actually descend the plane, because you gotta fucking create room for error. You know what I mean? That the computer might not see, that those set of eyes can't see and adjust quickly and be like, boom. save save everybody's life. So that's what I'm saying. It's gonna be that type of precision before we can get there. So, as far as the microchip problem, bro, I ain't hearing no news. You got a used car with decent mileage on it, and by decent I mean like 60,000. You gonna get a mint for your car right now. You can sell that motherfucker right now and get a mint. But if you got something that's somewhere in the hundreds, like right low hundreds, man, you'd be surprised what you can get for your used car right now. So if you got an extra car and you got a car that's just sitting there and you want to get rid of it, this is the time to get rid of it. If you don't really drive it and you just keep it around because you really can't get nothing for it, this is the time to go ahead and take that motherfucker to Carfax now and try to get something for it, because man, they're giving out an arm and a leg for used cars because it ain't enough cars being made for people to drive. So they selling used cars like crazy. And Buso, appreciate the Cash App. Sent the Cash App for. He ain't even put no reason. Just sent it for the love. That's what's up. That's what's up, and Buso. I appreciate the love, bro. As always. And Buso the real MVP when it comes to the Suicide Squad. That's a fact. Facts. When I was on the C-130, the pilots were big chilling. Exactly. They do chill for the most part. But shit, you gonna trust a plane floating in the air with no pilot? Anything can happen. You don't know what type of wake turbulence you can run into, what type of weather you can run into. You can go from being all good to all bad so quick in an airplane. It's the same thing with a semi-truck. Ain't no different with a semi-truck. What's the difference? So, yeah, I think we way off. I think, when we see planes flying themselves, because they have less obstruction to deal with than vehicles. As far as like clearances, human error, traffic changes, road changes, potholes, just all type of shit. A tire in the middle of the road. Is an autonomous truck gonna be able to pick up a tire in the middle of the road and be able to switch lanes as fast as a human being can and make a decision that quick? It's possible. I ain't saying it's impossible. It's possible, but they ain't there yet. They not there yet. How many times you been driving down the road in your truck and you seen some shit in the middle of the road, and if you ain't see that shit, you would have towed your whole truck up. I don't think a Tesla could pick that shit up right now, fast enough without slamming on the brakes to the point where it damn near set the brakes on fire and probably kill the people behind you from slamming on the, brakes all of a sudden from seeing at the last minute. Let me see. King D. Raj was in a van with no driver. That shit was crazy to watch. Yo, I gotta check that out. I ain't up on that. So King D. Raj had a van with no driver, huh? Was he moving freight in that motherfucker or what? He had like a freight moving van, or he was just driving it on some road trip type deal, on some personal shit. Especially at night. Exactly. Especially at night. Like, it's tough to see certain shit. And you asking the computer to pick up on that shit fast enough and safely make that decision of either changing lane or coming to a decent stop. You know what I mean? At a decent speed. So, I think we got a long way to go with that shit. That's all I'm saying. I'm coming up on my drop. So I'm going to go ahead and end the StreamYard. I'll go ahead and do this dropping hook as I said before. And I'll say again plenty of times. Podcast are not trying. You see the Cash App at the bottom if you feel like supporting. I appreciate it. I have yet to buy the microphone boom arm because I haven't made certain. But as soon as I do buy some more equipment for the thing, I will show y'all what it's been going into. But I literally haven't bought anything with any of the Cash Apps yet. But I will. I definitely will. And I will show y'all what I bought and all of that, so on and so forth. But I've been super busy. And I really was looking at boom arms and shit like that, but I'm just having a issue as far as like making a decision on what to do and like certain other equipment like a mic stand, and I do need to get another Bluetooth because I don't like how raspy this joint sound on the Cummins Talk. So, you know, but yeah, let me get off this phone because I gotta coordinate with the people at the gate. It's always been love. Till the next time, hit me up, leave a comment, subscribe, hit the like button. Love y'all. Peace. Stay safe out there.